Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel, and today, as you'll have seen in the title and thumbnail, I'm going to predict the rough lines of the liveries we're going to get next week at the F1 launch event in the O2 Arena in London. Yes, it's next Tuesday. We're almost there. We can do this. We're so close. So, as I said, I'm going to roughly predict what the liveries could look like next week. I'm mainly going to be going off colour schemes, because in terms of the actual designs, well, who knows what we're going to get. But colour schemes, I'm going to give a rough prediction for each of the 10 teams. So, let's go, starting with last year's Constructors' Champions, McLaren. And their livery, I think, is going to be very easy to predict. Because they're going to probably go with papaya and black. Maybe even a bit of white, and possibly a return of the blue. I really hope the blue comes back, because I was kind of missing it last year. Like, the McLaren last year reminded me a lot of the early papaya McLarens that, weren't doing too well. And it kind of took me back to that era, which I'm sure is an era that McLaren would like to forget. So I think we're going to see a mixture of papaya, black, and possibly a bit of white, and hopefully a return of the blue. Now, moving on from McLaren, we have Ferrari. Red. It's going to be red. It's obviously going to be red. But we have heard rumours that it's going to be a darker red, and we have kind of seen that with the merch that they have released, because it is definitely a darker red than it was last year. So, I think we are going to get a slightly darker red, more in line with a 2007, 2008 Ferrari. So, if you remember those cars, I think we're going to get that sort of a red for this year's car. Now, for Red Bull, I think they're actually going to change the livery a bit this year. Shocking, I know, but I have a couple of reasons. One, we've seen the Red Bull merch, and it looks very different from what we've seen before. And Max Verstappen has said that he actually wants a change in the livery, and with the departure of Adrian Newey, Red Bull probably aren't too hopeful on winning either championship, so are probably going to end up saying, screw it, we're changing the livery. Maybe they'll add a bit of a gloss to it. Perhaps they'll change the colour scheme up slightly. Maybe they'll go to like a lighter blue or a purple like they did in the early 2010s. Or they may bring back the original livery, which had the silver and blue, which I really like, as it actually matched the energy drink cans. So, I think we're going to see a similar livery to what we have the last 20 years. But I think there might be a slight change in the base colour, because the base colour has gone through a lot of changes over the years, as I've said. They started off with the silver and blue matching the energy drink cans, and then they did this kind of purple thing in the early 2010s, and then they've had the dark blue, which we've seen for quite a while now, and I think we're going to go back to maybe one of those previous colour schemes. I don't know. Now, moving on to Mercedes, I don't know what they're going to do. I can see a return of the silver. Maybe they'll kind of invert what they did with last year's livery. Maybe have black on the nose and silver throughout the rest of the car. Possibly. I don't know. Mercedes are going to be a difficult one to predict, because they've said they're going to try and keep the black to some extent. But I think that could also mean a return of the silver, which we know Mercedes for. See, I think Mercedes could go silver and black again, just inverting it from last year. Now, moving on to Aston Martin. Green. They're obviously going to be green. I don't see them doing anything else, frankly. So yeah, I think Aston Martin going to be green, plain and simple. Again, you can't really go wrong with that team, really, in that livery. It's green, plain and simple. Now, moving on to Alpine. I think there's going to be a bit more pink this year, because, well, I think there's going to actually be a lot more colour this year, because, well, we remember last year's livery and how bland it was, because most of it was black, with little bits of blue and pink here and there. However, this year, I think they're going to bring a lot of that colour back. So I think we're going to see something more in line with the 2023 livery. I think that's going to be the sort of thing we see. A lot of blue, a lot of pink. Will we see another full pink livery? Maybe. Who knows? Now, moving on from Alpine, Visa Cash App RB. I think it's going to be a very similar livery to last year, frankly. I don't see it changing much at all, minus Orlan, who have left the team, so that white and blue may disappear. It may just be silver and blue now. No, white and red, sorry. So it may just be silver and blue now. I don't know. Maybe a bit more green to meld in with the Visa Cash App bits. I don't know. But I think we're going to see a lot more blue and silver this year. Now, moving on from them, we have Sauber. Green and black. It's going to be green and black again. We've seen it in the merchandise from Sauber. It's going to be green and black. Will it be as insane as last year's was? I don't know. But the colour scheme in general will be green and black. I'm calling it now. Now, Williams. Williams. Once again, I think they'll stick to a very similar livery to what they've had the last couple of years, with the blue and the black and the Duracell logo on the airbox, which I've got to say was an absolute stroke of design genius. I love that. That was really clever how they actually made the airbox look like a Duracell battery. Loved that, and I really hope that sticks around this year. Yeah, once again, I think this livery is going to be a lot of blue, a lot of black, and maybe even a bit of the red and white pinstriping that we had last year. So that's my predictions for Williams. And now for Haas, who are very much a wild card. You can never really predict them, but I'm going to try. And I'm going to predict that once again, they'll have a very similar livery to what they had last year, so that will be a lot of white, black, and red. Plain Haas, really, you know. You can't really get more simple than that in terms of that team. Maybe they'll throw in a bit of blue to reference the fact that they are an American team. Who knows? Anyway, though, that's going to do it for my predictions on what colour schemes the F1 teams are going to be using this year for their cars. So please, like the vid, subscribe to my Nine Rock Sounds channel, so the link is down in the description. My sub button is down there. Please click those and the bell icons to get our notifications. Comment as well, because why not? Let me know what you think the team's colour schemes are going to be for this year. Do you think I'm right? Do you think I'm wrong? Who do you agree on and who do you disagree on? Once you've done that too, please follow me on my social medias. They'll be in the link tree in the description below. That is going to be Roxanne's website. And lastly, please do share the vid with all of your friends so they can join the infinite loop of liking, subscribing, commenting, following, and sharing, and around that loop. I'll see you all tomorrow with another video. Goodbye.